Hi everyone, I'm John C. Morley, the host of the JMOR Tech Talk Show and Inspirations for Your Life. Hey guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to the JMOR Tech Talk Show. We're in season 2. We're on episode number 16, and this is really exciting, ladies and gentlemen. We have an amazing show coming up for you tonight. First thing I want to talk about, just get right into it, all right? First thing is today is April 21st, 2023. If you're watching us live, Elon Musk on April 20th, just yesterday, started to purge blue check marks. So, what does this really mean? Well, Elon Musk's Twitter this past Thursday began a purge of blue verification check marks from users who have decided not to sign up for their new subscription service. With the checks disappearing from the accounts of journalists and academic people and celebrities, well, it caused some issues. And the blue checks even disappeared from accounts of some of the most well-known and widely followed people on the social network, including Kim Kardashian, Beyonce, Bill Gates, Pope Francis, former President Donald Trump, and Twitter founder Jack Dorsey. This is pretty low. Some government agencies, including the official account for U.S. Censorship and Immigration Services and accounts for some state customs and border patrol offices, also lost their blue checks, which were immediately replaced by the gray checks Twitter has designated for government accounts. The change and its confusing rollout threatens to create an even greater risk of impersonation of high-profile users and confusion over the veracity of information on the platform. Quote, "Though we have lost our check mark," this is the official USCIS Twitter account, close quote. And the government agency wrote in a tweet just this past Thursday, quote, "Please be aware of imposter accounts," close quote. I think it's terrible what they're doing. I mean, this is absolutely, when I say terrible, it is terrible, terrible, terrible. So Pope Francis loses verified blue star status. I think that is like pathetic, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I think that is so pathetic. I think that's really wrong. And the fact that he would do that, I mean, it's kind of crazy, Why did Pope Francis lose his blue check mark? Again, it hit celebrities, it hit reporters, and they now want you to pay. So how much is a Twitter blue check mark? Well, it's going to set you back some money. The check mark, which started April 1st, but they got really zealous about it on April 20th. Here's the eligibility criteria. Your account must have a display name and profile photo. Your account must be active in the past 30 days to subscribe to Twitter Blue. Your account must be older than 30 days upon subscription and have a confirmed phone number. Non-deceptive, your account must have no recent changes to your profile photo, display name, or username. In other words, your @handle. Your account must have no signs of being misleading or deceptive, and your account must have no signs of engaging in platform manipulation and spam. So the check mark will appear once the team reviews the Twitter Blue subscribed account, and if it meets the requirements, they'll go ahead and slap a blue check mark on it. And as a result of this, Twitter will no longer be accepting applications for the blue verification check marks under the previous criteria: active, noble, and authentic. I guess they're all about the money. So the loss of the blue check mark is in accordance with the new Twitter terms of service, including the new purchaser agreement, courtesy of Elon Musk. Twitter may remove the check mark of an account at any time without any notice. The check mark will appear again once the team reviews your Twitter Blue subscribed account, and if it continues to meet our requirements, they'll go ahead and enable it. Any violation of the Twitter terms of service or Twitter rules, manipulation of Twitter processes, or circumvention of enforcement actions may result in the loss of the checkmark or, in certain instances, you know what that is, suspension. Do you know what else Twitter did? Twitter has stopped their free API. What is Twitter's free API? So, yeah, Twitter is stopping their free API service. But application programming interface, but what does that really mean to people? I mean, if we had to question that, what does it really mean? And in a nutshell, what that means is that you cannot use other platforms, okay, to be able to tweet, like a tweet deck or other types of scheduling methods. You can't do that anymore because Twitter doesn't want that anymore. So again, um, Twitter, yes, is stopping their API for free hosting via third-party platforms. So you might be asking, how much is it going to cost? So how much will it cost to use the Twitter API now? Oh, well, it's gonna be a per month fee, okay? Um, and I think it's absolutely crazy. $42,000 per month is the API price, which literally trumps everyone. This is like a mess. It says, according to Twitter, that the basic tier of its API will cost only $100 per month. And a week after Twitter made the announcement about shutting down free access to the API, the company said that it will charge $100 per month for the basic tier of API. And this will get developers access to a low level of API usage without specifying what that exactly means and the ads API. So the company had planned to shut down free access to its API on February 9th. And now it has extended its deadline to February 13th, which they did. But with no details available around API pricing, they restructured things and they literally just stopped this now in April. So there was some pushback on this. I see the Twitter platform losing credibility, and I don't know. I don't find that getting followers on Twitter is just that interesting anymore. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there's so much going on, and YouTube. Yes, YouTube rolls out a new policy for ending eating disorder content. What the heck is this all about, ladies and gentlemen? So YouTube actually announced that it was doing this, and I think the problem here is I will tell you that it has been it's been a real problem, and I don't think everyone quite understands it or gets it. But it's a problem. It's definitely a big problem. They're monopolizing. The platform has removed content that now glorifies or promotes eating disorders, and YouTube's community guidelines now also prohibiting content that features behaviors such as purging after eating or extreme calorie counting that at a risk users could be inspired to imitate. For videos that feature such things as imitable behaviors in the context of recovery, YouTube will allow the content to remain on the site, but restrict it to users who are logging in the site and are over the age of 18. A quote I want to share with you. We're thinking about how to thread the needle in terms of essential conversations and information that people might have. Graham said, allowing people to hear stories about recovery and allowing people to hear educational information, but also realizing that the display of the information can serve as a trigger as well. So I think this is a problem. And another quote I want to share with you, these are complicated societal public health issues. Graham said, I want to never to profess perfection, but to understand that we have to be proactive. We have to be thoughtful. It's taken a while to get here because we wanted to articulate a process that had different layers and understood the challenges. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is just, when I tell you a mess, this is a mess. The question I want to know is Facebook going to do this nonsense soon? Are they? Are they going to do this or no? I don't know. I think it's going to be a big issue for a lot of people. I think it's going to be a big issue. I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that content has always been a problem for people. And platforms such as Facebook, Twitter. So is Facebook limiting, let's call it weight and calorie um, diet posting? And I think what we're going to find is that they're not doing it yet, but they might. They might in the future. They might do it in the future. I will tell you, it's kind of crazy. Think about that for a minute. I know, ladies and gentlemen, that it's crazy what's going on, but content is a big, big problem. It's a really good problem. And the reason content's a problem is because people are afraid of how it gets regulated. I think that's really the name of the game. Okay. It's the name of the game. And unfortunately, gentlemen, it's causing a problem. It's causing a very, very big problem. And what I want to ask you is how much can social platforms regulate freedom of speech? It's a problem. Are we entering a new era where social media is going to be regulated now or going to be on a case by case basis? I don't know. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is now becoming something that seems to be under our control. I don't know. This is just very, very wacky. All right. Very, very wacky. So, with YouTube rolling out the new policy for ending eating disorders, the question is, will other platforms, okay, roll out a policy for eating disorder content? And I don't know. I don't know. Right now, Facebook hasn't done it, but that's not to say they won't, right? Everything in the media world is like changing day by day by day by day. And so I know, ladies and gentlemen, that it's a challenge. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a challenge. Um, why are they doing this? They're doing this because they're hoping to protect people from these binging things like we saw on TikTok and all this other crap. We saw that. So what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's a mess. And you know why they're doing this? They're doing this because of lawsuits. So YouTube rolled out this eating, I'm going to call it disorder policy for legal reasons. It did. It wasn't done for people's well-being. They updated their guidelines, and these companies can do this all the time, saying that they have a new way they do things and, it's interesting, but are they taking away people's freedom of speech? I think the answer to that is yes. All right. Let's dip on to the White House. So the White House begins early plans for developing 6G. Wow. That's an interesting that's a very, very interesting thing. The White House developing plans for 6G. Do we even need 6G right now? Probably not. Think about that for a moment. And this is all coming under, under the Biden administration, as you guys know. But the fact that the White House is even doing this, I think it's crazy. Um, with the White House working on this now, and people that can't even get 5G, they're discussing strategies for building out the next generation of 6G wireless. So the 6G technology is a few years away, but the administration is starting now with a bid to beat China and reestablish the U.S. as a leader in wireless connectivity, as well as to carefully plan for new technologies that will be essential to national security and broader economy. A quote I want to read to you from them, and it says, "It's imperative that we start to look at these issues early," a security official for the Biden administration said during a press call on just the Thursday evening call of conference. The White House wants to, and I quote, "take the lessons learned from 5G about importance of early involvement and resilience," the official said, "and apply that to developing a 6G network that optimizes performance, accessibility, and security." So you might be asking, what is different from 5G to 6G? I think that's probably something you're going to ask. And not everything is clear. We know 6G will be faster. Okay. It's the sixth generation of cellular network technology that will succeed 5G, obviously. Um, it's supposed to be out roughly in 2030, and it's supposed to be faster than, of course, its predecessor. There are already reports saying that it will be somewhere around 206.25, not megabytes, folks, 206.25 gigabits per second. And this is what the test has already achieved in China. 6G use cases will be lots of different things, more about smart societies. But is that somewhere we want to go? Do we want cameras everywhere like they do in Dubai? I don't think so. 6G may not be a very good thing for freedom of speech, freedom of press. It'll take virtual healthcare to a whole new level with the help of features such as holographic telepresence, augmented reality, virtual reality, artificial intelligence. So people say to me, John, what's interesting in artificial, let's say, or augmented reality versus virtual reality? So if we think about, if somebody says to me, because people ask me, John, what is the difference? Okay, between AV and VR. Okay. And so there are some differences. Okay. So virtual reality is new, as you know. Um, virtual reality is when we create a world that doesn't look like the world we're in. Okay. Um, augmented reality is a little bit different. That's when we're going to be able to take our world, okay, simulate it, and then with virtual reality, we can put characters in it. We can do all kinds of different things. But if you're still lost and saying, "Hey, John, I don't quite get it," so virtual reality is seen in a lot of games, Augmented reality is more like the Pokemon, Go craze. That's probably one of the big things. Taking reality of what we see, like in the world, and then putting, um, let's say, a character in there. And so you might be asking yourself, what is the difference? So a VR world immerses the user in a computer generated environment that simulates reality through the use of different sensors through interactive devices. Now, augmented, um, you know, so we have augmented reality and virtual reality. So, augmented reality um, is going to be where we have the world, okay, and we then have that in mind. And then what we do is we take things that are not there and we add them. So augmented reality is a combination. It has virtual reality, but then we add the augmented where we can add things like characters or things that are not there. So I think that's pretty cool. Virtual reality is when we pretty much create everything. But I think the fact of, creating your home before it exists and then deciding what's going to go in there and what's not, I think that's a really pretty cool concept, to be honest with you. Florida. Oh, yes. Florida apologizes for the early emergency test. What the plank was going on here, guys? I mean, do they not know what's going on in their life? I don't know. It just seems very, very, very strange. I know this is crazy. I know it's crazy. I think people, when we have a mistake, like, so what Florida basically did is they apologized for the early emergency alert test, right? And so this actually happened, ladies and gentlemen, at 4:45 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, on Thursday. So many Floridians woke up at 4:45 a.m. this past Thursday by an abrupt notification on their phones from the emergency alert system. Test. This is a test of the emergency alert system. No action is required. After sending the test out across the state, the Florida Division of Emergency Management apologized, of course, profusely, for the very early alert, 4:45 a.m. in the morning. Florida is also ending its contract with the software company and blamed them for the test alert, according to an agency spokesperson. Now, as we quote, we know a 4:45 a.m. wake up call isn't ideal, and FLS ERT wants to apologize for the early morning text. The quote, the agency tweeted each month, we test emergency alerts on a variety of platforms. This alert was supposed to be on TV and not disturb anyone already sleeping. Yeah, good luck with that. So Governor Ron DeSantis said he had ordered FLS ERT director Kevin Guthrie to bring swift accountability for the test of the emergency alert system in the wee hours of the morning. That's good. And I want to make a quote from what he said. This was a completely inappropriate use of the system. I couldn't agree more. I mean, to get an alert early in the morning with a 4:50 a.m. alert, and they scheduled for June, according to the Florida Association of Broadcasters. So let's hope that they kill that alert before that wakes people up in June, too. And so this pissed off a lot of Floridians. The emergency broadcast system, which trended and does all over the country. And I remember the emergency broadcast system. You probably remember what they say. This is the emergency broadcast system. The broadcasters in your area, in voluntary cooperation with the FCC and other local authorities, have developed this system in the event of an actual emergency. If this had been an actual emergency, the attention signal you just heard would have been followed by specific news and prompt information of what to do or where to turn to get more information. This station concludes the 5 boroughs or whatever it is. So they also said, and I quote, since you're up, Tune in and catch today in Florida streaming live. Close quote. WSVN 7 News tweeted this at 5:02 a.m. on Thursday morning. Uh, I think this is a problem, and I think more people are going to have to respond to what happened. I think that's the biggest concern that I have. What does that mean to you? What does it mean? I think a lot of people are concerned about technology and how it can screw things up, right? I mean, I think that's a big problem for some people. So, I know you're probably saying to me, John, technology is great. And I'm a firm believer of technology. Okay. I have to tell you that I'm a firm believer of technology. However, there are times when technology royally, I'm going to tell you, mucks up. Yeah, it mucks up. I know that's crazy. Well, Universal Music Group calls AI music a fraud and wants it banned from streaming platforms. You see, this is going to get into a lot of he said, she said, and people are going to get pissed. They're going to question authenticity, um, saying that maybe even writing isn't authentic from AI, maybe art. There could be a lot of different things. The fact that we're already going after music, that says something to me. The U.S. Copyright Office announced it will also be seeking public input on how the law should apply to copywritten works the AI trains on and how the office should treat those works. And I quote, AI companies using copyrighted works to train their models to create similar works is exactly the type of behavior the Copyright Office and courts should explicitly ban. Original art is meant to be protected by law, not works created by machines that use the original art to create new work, said Falkes. And that's Fowlkes, Falkes. But according to AI experts, it's not that simple. So you can't just flag your site not to be searched, but that's a request. You can prevent it. You can request that someone not do it, but then they could still do it. And so I think where we're going, and you remember the show we had on artificial intelligence with Chat GPT, I feel it's gonna be interesting, and I wrote an article, which you guys are definitely gonna wanna check it out. If you're, listening, go to believemeachieve.com. If you're watching, just scan the QR code, and that'll take you there. The biggest challenge I see right now is that people, okay, are either excited about ChatGPT or they're afraid of it. They're afraid that it might replace humans. That's what they're afraid of. That's what they're afraid of. And I know, um, that's gonna be crazy. But ladies and gentlemen, it's absolutely the truth. All right. Chat GPT, okay, cannot simulate consciousness. So you might be saying, hey, John, will Chat GPT ever be able to duplicate human consciousness? Um, it's interesting. And And the responses that it makes about consciousness are unethical. But the question is, and this is the question I really want to ask, will Chat GPT ever gain consciousness? And I think what you're going to find out, the idea of artificial intelligence might be conscious to some, but it's not. In order for consciousness, we need to be able to take the information that we have, okay? Like all our senses are seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, smelling, and even proprioception, which tells us what part in space that our body or different muscles or groups are in. I know that seems crazy. I know that you're probably, how can I say, confused with Chat GPT, right? So, can Chat GPT become conscious? It can understand basic survival instincts of organisms, okay, and things like that, and have a protection circuit, right? We could do things like that. For an emotional circuit, it represents emotions and feelings that could propel human behavior. An AI system could develop the ability to simulate emotions and understand human emotions, allowing it to interact with humans more effectively. Simulate, there's a difference. A symbolic circuit represents the ability to understand and create symbols and languages. There's a social circuit, a neurosomatic circuit, a metaprogramming circuit, right? The quantum circuit. One circuit representing the ability to transcend physical reality and access higher dimensions of consciousness. Could an AI system develop the ability to process information and data at a scale at high complexities beyond current human understanding, allowing it to access a higher level of consciousness? AI systems try to model human behavior, and it's quite complex. You need a supercomputer with about a teraflop level of processing capability, as well as specialized hardware for machine learning and natural language processing. I mean, with this rapid development of technology, is it possible that such a system could be developed within the next few decades? Um, I don't know. I don't think it's that possible. But I feel that we're going to waste a lot of money on it. We're going to waste a lot of money. And unfortunately, with this money we're going to waste on it, which is good, we're going to learn a lot of things, right? We're going to learn a lot of things. So, ChatGPT, as we said, is a chatbot. It's gained attention for its ability to converse at high levels that are similar to humans, but not at the same empathetic level. It can't do empathy or feelings. ChatGPT is automation. Consciousness is complex, it's multifaceted, and philosophers, scientists, and researchers for centuries have been debating about it. At the basic level, consciousness refers to the state of being aware of one's thoughts, changing a thought, stopping a thought, and thinking of something else. Self awareness. Can a computer be self aware? I don't think so. Consciousness is something living beings have, and even some animals. It's linked to our brain. It allows us to process information, comprehend stimuli, and generate responses. But the nature and the mechanisms of consciousness are still not fully understood and continue to elude many intense and elaborate studies. When you ask ChatGPT if humans have consciousness, it says yes. Humans' consciousness allows people to make a deciphering of whether something is a chair, whether it's a song, whether it's a person, all without going back to its memory banks. That's pretty wild, if you ask me. I will say to you that there's a lot to this. I will say that people are going to be skeptical about ChatGPT for a while. And I wrote an article, Understanding ChatGPT. But I know you're thinking about this. Will ChatGPT ever be conscious? Hmm. I think information has a way of confusing people to think that information means consciousness. It doesn't. ChatGPT is going to evolve to process information in faster speeds and have access to more types of information, sensors, resources, etc. But we can't define information as consciousness. We really can't. I will tell you that as you ponder a lot of things we're talking about, these questions are going to revolve around technology and where is it going? We're going to spend a lot of money on things and we're not going to have any answers. Microsoft spent billions of dollars on a project with someone and they went nowhere. So, will the evolvement of consciousness be futile for AI? I think that's a very interesting question to ask. Brains are very sophisticated. They're saying that computers can think like we can. I don't think so. They can learn from processes, but can they really do what we do? I don't think so. Artificial consciousness is different from human consciousness. And AI and consciousness is something that millions of people are probing over every day. Startups are trying to find ways that our human brain is something. It's interesting. I'm going to tell you that AI can be used for good. It can be used for bad. I've also told you about technology. Technology is not good or bad. AI is not good or bad. We can choose to use it for good or use it for bad. It's the application that we use it for. That's what it comes down to. So if you are on the fence, ladies and gentlemen, about, let's say, technology or where it's going, let's embrace what it can do well. But my recommendation is that if we're going to use it to replace a job, like a job that could harm or hurt humans, great, so be it. But let's not put computers and technologies in places where a human interaction should be. I mean, do you want to pull into a parking lot and be greeted by an automated robot or a system as opposed to a person? Or be in a department store and have an AI bot help you decide what to purchase? I don't think so. They're going to cost a lot of money. And the amount of money it costs to process AI, let's end on that topic. How much money does it cost to process AI queries? They're saying OpenAI pricing to cost for users could access a super powerful AI would be around $6,000. $6,000. But the background would be scrambling with multiples. And if we had to get it to be more stable, it'd be close to 18 grand. That's pretty amazing. The question you're probably asking yourself is, how much does it cost, let's say, per month? Users could purchase 2 million tokens for $100 per month or 10 million for $400 a month. But are people just going to waste time with ChatGPT to just find trivial information? Are they? I mean, some people are using ChatGPT to do their homework. I don't think that's a good use of its resources. We'll keep tuned to what's going on with that. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a privilege, been a pleasure, been an honor to be with you this fantastic, amazing evening. I hope you'll like, love, support the channel. Definitely comment below. Tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. And, of course, scan the QR code, visit believemeachieve.com, and make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a cup of coffee, a bowl of fruit, or perhaps a savory dessert. Either way, we'll be grateful for those pennies and dollars. We'll invest into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational content. And I'm going to see you guys, you know when? I'll tell you when. We'll see you guys next Friday. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your day and weekend, and I hope you enjoy this wonderful weather. Be well.